Nicholas says Black Thought album better than Freddie Gibbs album. I was just
No.
listening to both of those albums back to back. I think
Second,
I think Freddie Gibbs album is better. I think
it
Black
is.
Thought is clearly the better MC. Aquamarine
Yes.
is the best song on both albums. Yes.
Correct.
But
Yes.
that stretch that Freddie has from I want to say around number 4 to well, like
Pretty
11,
insane.
it's
Yeah.
insane. Yeah.
That's why I was like, I don't know what other people are hearing. When I told you, Mike, you have the text from me at like 2, 3 in the morning. I'm like, this is the album of the year.
You're
Like
right
I knew
though.
it I
You're
heard it
right.
one
I
time.
fought you on this last week, but we went back and listened to the Black Star for the people who are in our Patreon. We listened to both albums, and our Patreon is actually at the top of the chat if you want to check out that previous show from Monday. But we listened to both albums, and you know what? I'm gonna tell everybody here. I've been a big proponent of the Black Star album, No Fear of Time, being the best album I heard all year. I was overstating that album after listening to it again. I honestly have Black Star's album dropping to about number 4, and I think that's just indicative of the year that we're in because the quality albums we have a lot of quality albums, but the top brass of our quality albums are so close that right now, just based on what I've been listening to over the past week and just kind of compartmentalizing everything and everything that we did on Monday, I got Freddie at 1. I got sorry, excuse me, Cheat Codes at 2. I got Ghetto Gods at 3, and then No Fear of Time. To
Okay,
be fair.
I'm gonna have to go listen to Ghetto Gods again. I listened to it about a month ago. I need to go listen again. I definitely am with you on Gibbs and Thought at 1 and 2 respectively, which is kind of how we predicted. Like Mike, this album this year could very well go the way that we predicted because it's like, well, you took Thought, I took Nas, and I took Gibbs as a dark horse. The dark horse is in the lead right now. Your pick is in second place. You know, it's getting to be mid-October and no KD3 just yet. So,
Mm-hmm.
if things stand pat, that's how it would go. After that, I would say right there, that's why I told you we need to listen to that Che Noir and that Ransom. Because
Yeah.
right now, I feel like, that and the Ghetto Gods and the No Fear of Time are kind of like in a lump together. And right outside of that is like Benny and Lupe and a couple other joints.
I
But
need to listen
but
to the Lupe again too because from what I remember, that Lupe was real quality. And
no, it
real,
was. It was a high quality
yeah.
album. Like I
What?
mean, if we're going off our ratings right quick, Mike. I mean, yeah, Earth Gang is a 4.7, Che Noir is a 4.7, and JID is a 4.5. We've given the Black Star 4.8 right along with the Freddie. So what are we dropping the Black Star down to? Is what I was going to submit to you.
I'm cool with going down to a 4.6 with the Black Star.
Yeah, because I think it's better than JID's album.
Yeah. Frank Wizard said, M only wants smoke if it's a winnable cause. That's what it appears to be. And I'm with you on that, Frank. 36 Chambers says, a bit late today, fellas, but who are y'all considering your next verses on the Patreon segment? Wasn't sure if you had decided yet. Were we going to do Just Blaze and Havoc, or you want to do something else?
I
Or
mean,
you
the
want to,
Just Blaze and Havoc has been sitting there, so we probably should get it done.
or do you
Unless
want to
somebody
get to
can
this Kanye and Dre thing, or do you want to get to this Q-Tip and RZA thing?
right. That's what I mean. If somebody wants to see something more than that, you
Yeah,
know what I
let us
mean,
know.
we'll do it. I mean, it's for the people. The
Yeah.
Patreon is literally like everything we do is like inherently thinking about the people, but the Patreon is specifically for the people who subscribe and what they really want to see go down. So when we're tossing out topics and ideas and stuff, it's really about what the people gravitate towards.
Right.
Because we ended up having the Brooklyn Queens thing. That wasn't either one of the topics that we chose. The people was like, you should do Brooklyn versus Queens, and everybody in the chat was like, do that.
Yeah,
do
that was Jay
do
Short's,
that. Yeah.
recommendation. And shout
Yeah,
out to
so
Jay Short. Jay
that's how
Short
it's
would,
supposed to happen. Like the people are supposed to decide what we're doing on the Patreon.
yeah.
You
So
know?
y'all let us know. Jay Short says, "Coop, you told the truth on the Patreon. Folks are mad at Freddie made that album and not Lupe, Mos, etc. If
Yeah.
Lupe had those songs, people would be saying he's Nas 2.0.
Easy. They'd be like, okay, We were wrong about Kendrick. We apologize, Lupe. Like it would be a whole thing. That's what I mean. If somebody else makes so, if the rapper that you love or want to love more than you should, because I just want to say this is like, well, I think where No Fear of Time really hurts is because we're listening to the thoughts of ideas of somebody who's not in touch and not in tune. He's in tune to his world and what he likes. And he's actually maybe a better salesman than we're giving him credit for because,
Yeah.
you know, because we've all kind of like bought into his world and into the hype of this. And really, Mike, if you just put it on a case by case basis, it's like it's not there because it's like even though it's a 4.6, my fear of No Fear of Time is that when you put it to his next to his top level competition, it just doesn't sound as good.
And you see, that's the thing though, Coop. Before, when we heard that album, Cheat Code didn't exist.
Yep.
You know, Freddie's album didn't exist, and so when I started listening to it on our Patreon specifically, and even after that, just riding to it, I'm like, yeah, it's hard for me to justify saying that these records are better than these records because they're not.
They're not. But that's what I kept on trying to say is that don't love the MC and the nostalgia and the producer and the other MC so much that you're not hearing the fact that, well, these songs, although futuristic and innovative, they're not really fully fleshed out or complete.
Yeah,
and
I felt very incomplete with that too, yeah.
And Freddie and Black Thought's full songs like Aquamarine and like Rabbit Vision expose those full complete songs that have some of everything that you like, plus guys that can rap their asses off respectively at what they do. Well, it's like, well, you're rapping your ass off respectively, but it's like, so are they. In Black Thought's case, Black Thought is better than both of you.
Well, see,
in Freddie's case, Freddie has more agility than both of you. And here's the last thing that I want to submit. Outside of Mos Def's first album, I don't think he's made an album, Mike, where you hear more than 5 to 6 really full, cohesive, great songs. And so I'm going to bring like his album making ability into questions because unlike Andre, we know that he can make an album, but what has really the quality of those albums been like? How good is he as a song maker that Madlib and Talib should be following his lead when they're the ones that have been more active? Think about it. Madlib did Bandana with Freddie. Talib's been outside for a minute. That's who should have been spearheading this album. They should have asked Mos to do what he does best, rap his ass off, not lead the vision of this album. He ain't been outside.
Black on Both Sides celebrates 23 years today also. And The New Danger celebrates an anniversary too. So maybe, you know, today is just, you know, Yassine Bey's day.
I didn't know that.
What I was going to say, though,
record and one okay record.
Everything that you just said about, you know, the song making abilities on those two albums, I want to throw Earth Gang's Ghetto God in there as well, because listening to that album made me realize, like, I really enjoy these songs. It wasn't, and the bar work was good, but it wasn't all about the bar work. You know, it reminded me of, like, you remember Phil Mob's first album?
Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed that album like I enjoyed that album. Like, these guys can clearly rap, but these songs are fun and entertaining and fun to listen to.
This Earth Gang to me is better than that, though.
It is better than that. I'm just talking about, no, it is. It's better than that. I mean, as a whole, from end to end, yeah. I'm just saying, like, as far as, like, being able to make songs. And, yes, when you listen to No Fear of Time, as dope as those songs are to me, those songs don't sound like complete thoughts and complete songs. Let me get to some of these super chats. Eric Terrell with the super chat says, true to the game. How do you like me now? Jack the Ripper. Dre Day. If you can't dance to a diss record, it's whack. I'm just old game. He said, I'm just old. Game song ain't it. All right, I feel that. Now, again, if you want to dance to a diss record, you're probably not going to dance to an Eminem record or a record that is trying to invoke Eminem sonically. So you're not dancing to Eminem records either. That's probably why Game didn't get you something to dance to.
It's
Born
very
King with the
problematic, Eric, but I'm writing Jack the Ripper down. I'd like to thank
I
you for
love
Jack the
Jack the
Ripper.
Ripper. I love Jack the Ripper. The
Jack the
baddest
Ripper's up there
around.
high.
I'm a killer with the microphone, the street talk. All right, Born King says, y'all still ain't reviewed Medallions and Monarchy. We got to get to that.
Medallions of Monarchy. What? Who? What?
Medallions and Monarchy.
What shit is that?
Blue Collar Hustle says, latest EP of you listen to too much rap when helping my 6-year-old with his homework and quizzing her on what's time. She said, Daddy, time is illmatic. Nice. Keep static like wool fabric. What a great album. I guess we have to say that.
Planet Asia? When did they do this?
Huh?
Oh, this is Planet Asia. Well, we just rated the...
I know. There's so much music out there. Jay Short says...
we just rated the Asia and Nug Life joint. Don't make it seem like we're not on our shit at all. I mean, like, damn, we're trying. Like, what the hell?
Jay Short says, Common versus Lupe. Chi-Town's best. Dame says, where do y'all have Rome Streets ranked? It's interesting.
We gave the Rome a 4.4 because I'm looking at our list because we're forever auditing.
I'm going to say this. The Rome Streets album is a personal favorite of mine for this year. It's one of those albums where it's like, it's hard to say that it's better than certain albums because it doesn't take you out of certain worlds, but I love that world that the Rome Streets album is in. And I think, in my opinion, and we played this on the Patreon, I think the record with Stove and Benny is one of the best songs, if not the song of the year so far.
I'm with you. I think Blow for Blow is the best rap song I've heard this year.
It might be. Blow for Blow is crazy.
Like, no. I mean, that's
the
best rap song that I've heard this year. And that's definitely the best ending to a rap song that I've heard in a minute.
Yeah,
like,
they went in.
That was a Jada Kiss, like, and Jada Kiss is forever in his prime, but that's like a peak level Jada Kiss ending bar when he said, stand next to the God like Abraham. I was like, that's Jada Kiss level. Like, that's Jada Kiss level. I was like, he's rapping his ass off right now.
The Soulja Boy record is crazy
They all
too.
destroyed that joint respectively. Like, the beautiful thing about a record like that is that everybody's hearing the same beat, but all three people heard the beat differently and did what they did best differently on it at the same time. And that's usually how classic shit gets made, and that record's a classic. That's an instant classic. I'm with you on Blow for Blow. I would tell you right now that the Rome Streets is a top 10 album this year.
Oh, definitely.
It would probably be, yeah.
Yeah, that album.
Like, how about this? Do you think it's better than the Pusha T?
I like it better than the Pusha T. Now,
but I said, is it better?
I think it is. I hate to say
that.
You know,
now we're giving that a 4.4.
You know what? Is it better than the JID album? Is it better than JID's album? Like, I'm gonna tell you this from a technical standpoint, I would say JID's album is better. But I listen to the Rome Streets album.
You enjoy the Rome more.
I do.
Correct. No, I feel you. So, but the JID is a 4.5. The Rome is a 4.4. What is that Pusha T to you?
People are saying we're being too hard on the Pusha T. This is what I'm gonna say. And I want to preference,
I'm only saying that because as I look at our list right now, Mike, people are right. We have it at a 4.
We have it at a 4. It needs to go up from that. I think
that's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, it needs to go up from that. The problem, I don't even say the problem. I think that there were a lot of expectations with the Pusha T album, right? We've been hearing album of the year, album of the year, album of the year for like the past, year and a half, 2 years now? Coming off of Daytona, which is incredible. Got the vinyl right here in front of me. And coming off of him taking out the biggest rapper in the game, numerically, obviously. And, him going through a lot of things in his personal life, both great and, and sad and tragic. I just expected to hear that album from Pusha T that was going to push him into the lexicon of the greats, you know what I'm saying? And him being able to use his skill set and give us more than he's ever been able to give us, just based on what has transpired in his life over the past 4 years, And when it comes to the content side of things, I wasn't really that impressed with It's Almost Dry. And on the production side of things, I think it was a bit of a letdown as well.
So
But again, a lot of that's coming off of Daytona also,
I'm about to say I think you're having some Daytona hangover effect going on.
Yeah.
There's a few ways. Okay, so it's hard to rate an album like that anything. I would say, Mike, less than a 4.3 or a 4.4, just because of the actual rapping that's going on, though. And that is the thing that, how about this? I think this is going to go down, in my opinion, as his third best album, because I think My Name is a little better. Slightly.
I think that a 4.3 is fair.
Now, but listen to what I'm about to say, though. But this is going to be one of those records that should be remembered more for how the MC performed. Like, he made this album a 4.3. Like, his rapping ability did. And so, like, the degree of difficulty, and it seems funny to say because, and that's what I mean, like, an album, and here's your problem, Mike, an album that says that it has production from Pharrell and Kanye, we should never be talking about, well, the MC is who made that album great, actually. Yeah. And therein, and so with that being said, Mike, we know where the problem really lies. It is with the production of the album. And I'm going to tell you what, those beats on there, although you may like those beats aren't holding.
No, they're not. If just hypothetically, and like you said, we got Pharrell and Kanye producing that whole album. If we had Alchemist producing that whole album, this whole conversation's different. It is what it is. Jay Stone, with the super chat says, saw Earth Gang live yesterday at the Gorillaz concert in Boston. They put on a great show. It's awesome. They got great records to perform too. CJ Kidd says, with so many albums out, how do you guys decide which ones to review and which ones to not review? We kind of listen to you guys, and what people are talking about.
I mean, some of that just goes down to the quality, though. I mean, like, if it's quality enough and catches our attention to the point where, like, there's stuff that you shoot me, it's like, yo, Coop, you need to listen to this. Like, when I heard the Planet Asia in Nug Life, the Alkaline Genetics. When I heard that, I was like, yo, Mike, you need to hear this. I'm like, this is an album of the year contender. I'm like, this is one of the 10 best rap albums I've heard this year. Yep. And so, like, we're not biased. And so, for people think we're Nas channel, or before that, a Griselda channel. No, we're not biased. No, we just like to hear dope rap.
We're a channel for anybody that's popping, right? Anybody that's out there putting in that work.
I told you, Mike, what did I pull up here and say after I heard Alkaline Genetics? I was like, we need to find this Nug Life producer and try to talk to him because he is nice with the beats.
I forgot about when people used to call us a Griselda channel. That's funny. Yeah, because it's right. When Nas puts out KD2.
And we stood up for him, when he was getting truly slandered with yellow journalism by the white media and powers that be, and we said something about it, and then we became a Nas channel. The fact of the matter is we're a dope-ass rap channel. You know what I mean?
Anybody who's putting in that dope-ass work, you tell me somebody that put out a KD2 and a Magic last year.
Look here. Our biggest view on YouTube is us talking about Cool G rap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue Collar Hustle with the super chat says, you guys touched on this last week, but why isn't RZA considered universally goated over Dr. Dre? He produced much more and gave us 2 top 10 rappers. Why do you think that is? First of all, do you have RZA over Dr. Dre?
Mike, I told you my real argument for who should replace him would be RZA, because it's like, well, what he did, I don't think any of the other guys could do. And the only thing that you can say is that, well, what did he do after that? It's like, what do you need to do after that? You know what I mean? That would be what I would submit. It's like, well, after you do that, what do you need to do? It's like literally December of 1993 is Enter the Wu-Tang. July of 1997 is Wu-Tang Forever. You show me somebody in 4.5 years that's even close.
To answer Blue Collar Hustler's question.
Like, how about this? To go against RZA, those 4.5 years, if you were to just pull that 4.5 years of his catalog out, that prime chunk of the work, you would have to take everybody else's whole catalog to beat him. So that's kind of like, it's like, well, if you need your whole shit to beat my 5-year stretch, that makes me the man.
I think a big thing is the fact that RZA did a bulk, if not all of that production within his group. And I think in hip hop, we have given versatility points for producers that could go outside of their comfort zone and outside of their collective group to produce for others. But Dr. Dre's done a little bit of that, not as much as people make it seem. I mean, we just had Game out there saying that Dr. Dre didn't make an individual beat on the documentary. Did you see that part of the interview? Because he was talking to Just Blaze when he did that. I was just watching the game. So basically, when the Game said that, and Just Blaze made some stuff on the documentary, Just Blaze tried to defend Dre. But Game was like, nah, I'm not gonna, take credit from the people who actually produced beats on the album because Dre listened to the album after it was done and completed. It's like, I had to fly out there to you. I had to go, work with Kanye. I had to go here, here, and here and get production from all over the place. And I want to make sure that those people get recognized. I'm not going to give credit to Dr. Dre for stuff he didn't make.
Well, what about How We See? But I guess my thing was that why didn't Just Blaze say, well, did he not make How We Do?
He must not have. If he was gonna, if he didn't ask that, that must have been.
I mean, 'cause I can't front when I listen to like "Don't Worry" with Mary J. Blige and How We Do. I'm like, oh, that is very, very Dr. Dre to me. Like some of his best stuff to me, in all honesty. And so,
who is this production partner? You say his name all the time. You know what I'm talking about.
Mailman.
Huh? No, not Mailman.
Elizondo. Mike Elizondo.
Yeah, I think Elizondo.
He's the guitarist. He's the one that plays a lot of those guitars and chords that you hear. Yeah.
I think he might have.
I've been up with him since I was out in Cali. Obi put me on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric Terrell with the super chat says, "Put somebody versus Ice Cube, maybe Face or Snoop."
We had the Face.
We did have a Face and Cube thing down. Set up.
Yeah, we have Face and Cube down already. That's one of them that we have down. So if y'all want to put that to the front, we can.
Jay Short says, "Does Shay Noir Lost Tapes coming qualify for Album of the Year?" Sure. I think Lost Tapes are albums, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Jay Short says, not Jay Short, CJ Kidd says, did you guys know that Prince played the piano and Havoc's beat that ended up being on Snoop's East Sider and Mobb Deep track? Thoughts? Prince played the piano on Havoc's beat. Huh. What track is that?
Yeah, tell us the track so I can go listen to it. So I really,
Mad Max said, did Push Rapping make it a 4.3? The man had Night King bars in 2022. Outside of the 3 records, lyrically, I wasn't impressed. There's better Coke rap right now. I think that the records that he showed out on. I think you're probably leaning more towards Let the Smoker Shine the Coupe, Brambleton, Living in the Past, or Dreaming of the Past. Because the record with like Lil Uzi and stuff, I mean, it's not that impressive as far as the bar work. Diet Coke is impressive too, and I really hate the Diet Coke dropped so early. I feel like the fact that Diet Coke dropped so early, it tanks our perception of the record and its involvement on the album. Because when we talk about the album, we don't even talk about Diet Coke like it's not on the album because I think it came out so early,